because I think it's a great message for all of us that are here today and those that are listening by Facebook, radio, and YouTube. A nurse took the tired, anxious serviceman to the bedside. "Your son is here," she said to the old man. She had to repeat the words several times before the patient opened his eyes. Heavily sedated because of the pain of his heart attack, he dimly saw the young uniformed Marine standing outside the oxygen tent. He reached out his hand. The Marine wrapped his toughened fingers around the old man's limp ones, squeezing a message of love and encouragement. The nurse brought a chair so that the Marine could sit beside the bed. All through the night, the young Marine sat there in a poorly lighted ward, holding the old man's hand and offering him words of love and strength. And occasionally, the nurse suggested that the Marine move away and rest a while. He refused. Whenever the nurse came into the ward, the Marine was oblivious to her and to the night noises of the hospital, the clanking of the oxygen tank, the laughter of the night staff members exchanging greetings, the cries and the moans of the other patients. Now and then she heard him say a few gentle words. The dying man said nothing, only held tightly to his son all through the night. Along towards dawn, the old man died. The Marine released the now lifeless hand he had been holding and went and told the nurse. While she did what she had to do, he waited. Finally, she returned. She started to offer words of sympathy, but the Marine interrupted her. "Who was that man?" he asked. The nurse was startled. "Well, he was your father," she answered. "No, he wasn't," the Marine replied. "I never saw that man before in my life." "Then why didn't you say something when I took you to him?" "I knew right away that there had been a mistake, but I also knew he needed his son, and his son wasn't here. When I realized that he was too sick to tell whether or not that I was his son, knowing how much he needed him, I stayed. I came here tonight to find a Mr. William Gray. His son was killed in Iraq today, and I was sent to inform him." Who was that gentleman's name? What was that gentleman's name? The nurse, with tears in her eyes, replied, "Mr. William Gray." The next time someone needs you, just be there and just stay. Because, see, we are not human beings going through a temporary spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings going through a temporary human experience. This is what we are to put on earth to do anyway. And so, the message of this reading is just stay. All throughout the night, he stayed. We are in the night before the dawn. And when Jesus comes, there will be breaking of a new day. And you and I just need to stay. We need to hold the fort. Matter of fact, there's a hymn called "Hold the Fort." We need to hold the fort. Retreat, not an option. Quitting's not an option. We must stay. There are too many lines that are being infiltrated by Satan himself. And God needs his army to hold the line and stay.